Hey, welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the very first time. Either way, I always appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. As always, shout out to the 19. Folks, I want to do a quick video about ratings, NBA, WNBA, and what it means for the league going forward, because I found something I hadn't been able to find all season. I know I did a video a little while back specifically related to the NBA Cup ratings compared to Caitlin Clark because the NBA Cup ratings weren't that great, and broke it down about the certain individual players and what they were drawing and how it wasn't looking good for the NBA. So this was a article about the record-breaking NBA Christmas Day ratings, and they were decent, but numbers out of context. We all know what the turnover numbers with Caitlin Clark, and our haters, the Hatelins, clung to that, right? I had to do multiple videos breaking down every little thing about turnovers and what that meant in the context of what she did on the court and all the other players. So ESPN kind of says, yeah, they're not as great as it looks, but I don't really want to go into that because we could spend a lot of time that because they weren't really comparing apples to apples. But what I did want to get to, if I can find it, was this is what I hadn't seen before. As of last week, so we've had a lot of the season, right? We're at Christmas. NBA games this season were averaging 1.4 million viewers on ABC, ESPN, NBA TV, and TNT, down 25% from last season. 1.4 million, keep that in mind because we remember this. Fever games averaged 1.18 million viewers across all networks, 1.59 million if one excludes NBA TV, which is in fewer than 40 million homes. Now, that's a big difference, right? Now you say, oh, well, the NBA one has NBA TV as well. Even so, the fact that the WNBA was drawing, or I shouldn't say that, sorry, the Fever were drawing numbers like that compared to the NBA. And by the way, the Fever games, you had a lot of games on little small Ion, which is what, 2 years old, set records on that, but they weren't the biggest of the games. Caitlin Clark and the Fever did not have as many games on huge networks like ABC, ESPN, TNT. They had their share, but not like the NBA gets. So really, that non-NBA TV number for the Fever is probably closer in of an apples to apples comparison to NBA with it. So that's huge. 1.59 million to 1.4. Now, keep in mind, again, context, right? The NBA obviously far more teams. Those teams play far more games, and I also add in the playoffs. So of course, the revenue generated is going to be significantly more. So the WNBA still has a long way to go because you're right now talking about 12 teams. Next year will be 13. So next year will be 13 teams, 44 games. The NBA is what, 32 teams, 82 games. The playoffs are obviously much longer as well. But still, that is a significant number. And of course, we also had, just to show you the jump, you have to go all the way back to 98 for the record for games with 1 million plus viewers, and that was 15 back in 98. But do we all remember this? Games with 1 million viewers. Now, to be fair, calling out, this is actually should be 2009, 2023, because the last million viewer game was in 2008. I believe it was Candace Parker's rookie game debut in the WNBA. And that was the last million viewer plus game. The Indiana Fever alone had 23 this season. Of course, the flip side of that is the league with games outside of Caitlin Clark, 394,000. So big difference. But I just want a couple of, so they still have a long way to go. But again, it's a lot of potential. Is now can they grow the rest of the league? So I mentioned Tiger Woods about it being, is Caitlin Clark a solo act? Right now she is. Yeah, she absolutely is. 1.18 million to 394,000 for the rest of the league. Now they had some bumps, right? They had some big games. I think there was Asia Wilson, I can't remember if they played the Sky or not, but I believe Asia Wilson had like a 1.22 million game. I think Angel Reese might have had a million plus game with it was either a lead in, I think it was a lead into a Fever game. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But of course, they also get into some nonsense here where they go over the top about what people were saying that the league would be nothing without her and had no value independent of her. None of the players, past or present, matter except for her. Yeah, no one was really saying that. They were just fans who wanted to enjoy Caitlin Clark, and they weren't allowed to do that because they got crucified and hated on from before game one. And then it says players have didn't like that. Didn't like that. And no doubt contributing to the cold shoulder she received at times. So, again, Caitlin Clark fans, you're the reason Caitlin Clark got treated poorly. It wasn't just straight up jealousy because no one who knew who any of these players were before Caitlin Clark. I'll leave you with one more thing that kind of irks me a little bit. Reality is that WNBA was making progress, if incrementally before Clark, viewership was trending up, not to seven figures, but enough to attract new media partners CBS in 2019 and Scripps Sports Ion in 2023. Both companies saw potential in the league, even when a good viewership number was one in the 700. Look, if you can, it's all about the numbers and if you can make them work, right? And that goes to what they're paying for the media rights deal. If they can 300,000, but they can get advertising revenue that is more than what they paid for the rights, that's a good deal for them and they're going to do it, right? It makes sense. However, as we've seen and I've shown you, viewership, and this is what they've all been saying, right? We can go back to that video at the beginning of the season with Becky. She just said all these great things about the league and how it's been growing and all this. And it was right at a tipping point, and Caitlin Clark just happened to come along, tipping over into this spectacular growth. And that's just a lie. I mean, it's just complete nonsense. The league has been flat since 2004. For the past 20 years, there's been no growth. Um, you look at the heyday, you look at all the numbers, the ones Caitlin Clark has broken in terms of viewership, and the ones that still haven't been broken, they're all back from like 97 to 2002, maybe 2003. That's why hasn't been a million viewer game since one in 2008. You had the heyday, people were checking it out to start. They decided, you know what, this is not something that I enjoy watching, and they tuned out. What they are telling you when they talk about this growth is that the WNBA crashed in 2020, and over the last few years, it's been an upward trend to where now it's back to where it was in about 2004. So, don't let them fool you with that nonsense. But I think that was it. Was there one more thing I wanted to talk about? No, I think that was it. But anyway, yeah, let me know what your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you think that the league can consolidate. Because look, again, to be fair, the finals, right? The finals were up overall. You've got Clark fans tuning in to other games. So we'll see if the WNBA can capitalize on that. Uh, Based on some stuff I just saw recently, I'm not sure, but I'll probably do some videos on that. But I'm going to leave it there for now. I just thought it was really interesting to actually see the total NBA ratings, not like every week what games did what, but actually that's the first time I got to see 1.4 million. Clark did 1.18, 1.59 without NBA TV, which I thought was like, wow, that surprised me. If the league can do that, right? If the league can get to say averaging a million, that is very, very good news for the future of women's professional basketball for sure. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget, if you are enjoying the content, to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And I will talk to you later.